Welcome to Revolution Radio. I don't know. I just like. I think I stroked out there for a second. I apologize. Just like,
I thought you were growling. I thought it was borderline sexy.
Is it a bit
Thanks.
hot coming in, maybe?
it was a little bit hot. I think it threw me off. I was like, good God, my mic is hot.
I'm trying to work with it.
You're fine. You're fine. I understand.
Hey, whenever you do, because you sometimes see what it looks like on radio waves. Are we loud enough, or are we too loud?
You know, I've heard from a few people that you are entirely too loud.
I am very loud. My
Which
mic is very sensitive.
Is weird because, as he pointed out,
On
like,
YouTube, you're quiet.
Yeah, but then during this, like live, your
It's weird.
laugh like overpowers us.
What's really weird is that when we're doing stuff live, I can barely hear you guys through my headset.
Like right
ever.
now.
Or like when Jay's playing.
Well, I mean, you've also broken those headsets like 4
'Cause they're
times.
shitty headset. But
I can get you another pair from Toys R Us.
Right.
But when Jay plays some music and some of the snippets and stuff, the audio
I-
clips from his phone,
And
I
I
don't
do
ever
need
hear him.
to. I do need to boost those up because even on the YouTube channel and stuff, they're low.
Really?
Yeah.
A smidgen.
A
I think
smidgen.
it's really hard to keep the sound and the audio level when you're working with equipment from the 60s. And then when we transfer it over to equipment from now, sometimes they don't speak.
Look, they got a good deal at Wolfman Jack's house.
I think really the solution here is kick Tanya off.
Do you think that's the solution?
Yeah.
That might be.
I think it's a good one. We've thought about it for about 4 seconds and you're
You know
off.
what? Okay, let me go.
All right, bye.
Bye, bitches. I'll come back as Metal Mikina.
Why wouldn't you go with like a real name?
I know.
Like
Right.
Metal Michelle,
Metal Michelle?
Metal Melissa.
No, that's too much like Metal Militia.
That's
I'm
weird.
just saying,
Well, and-
there's a lot of M names.
Well, and we're gonna
Margaret.
have to change the rock assault. I
I'm sorry. I gotta take an L on that's fucking hilarious. Metal Margaret. If we were to do like an actual live show with this, it's gonna be called the Metal Margaret Show.
All right, deal. We can all
Metal
talk like old
Margaret.
ladies.
Such a horrible
All
fucking
right, sweetie,
name.
well, I have some cookies in the kitchen if you want some.
you gonna talk about your doilies?
It sounds
What?
like a woman who says "warsh."
Oh,
Worst.
yeah, you know what? We never did have our little Thanksgiving corner about our
No.
doilies and
Your
such.
We did
doilies.
not. You fucked
Do you
up
have?
though.
do
Remember
you
that
have
was
a
you.
Christmas corner?
I know.
Have you decorated?
Oh, we
what
can-
are your decorating schemes, Cody?
I'm not the one to ask about
Used
decorating
rubber
for
on the
Christmas.
tree.
Yeah, I don't use much in the way of.
Do you have a tree up?
No.
Do you have a
Me either.
menorah?
A what? No.
I'm just asking.
I'm not like practicing Jewish. I'm just money Jewish.
Oh my
born
God, I
into it.
thought of you today.
Why?
I after I got out of the shower, I bought this hair stuff. It's what is it? It's some kind of new hair stuff. And as I'm like putting it in my hair, I'm like, do you know who really needs this?
I don't have long
Cody's
hair
Jufro.
anymore. But I don't have long hair anymore.
But look at the Jufro. Look at it.
It is getting more Jewy by the
It
day.
is.
It's getting longer and longer.
It is. I'm growing it back out.
It's like a curling cream, and it smells amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really soft. I
What
got
kind
it in
is
the
it?
ethnic aisle.
Is this what we're doing?
But you're not.
It is what we're doing.
You're
Shut
not
up.
ethnic.
But I have such thick curly hair, which you have to agree because you have it too.
I think
Yeah.
Latino is ethnic, by the way.
Yeah, they're unimportant though. They don't qualify.
Latinx.
They shouldn't
I
even
hate
be
it
in
when
this
people
country.
say that.
Latinx?
People say that?
Yes, it's a thing.
Why?
I heard it Saturday because I said something about being Mexican and they're like, you're Latinx.
What is Latinx?
Yeah.
Latinx is when you are of Latin history or past. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I can find the little fucking Mexican village my family came from. I am Mexican. And they're like, no, you're Latinx. You're trying to fucking tell me what I am? Damn. Yeah, apparently Latinx is supposed to represent all Hispanics,
Oh.
all Latin countries.
I thought that's what I thought that's what that did.
Yeah, so
Already.
what's Latinx?
Right.
Latin. I thought that.
I did. I was like, I'm Mexican. And she's like, well, how do you know you're not Guatemalan? Dude, because my grandpa came from this shithole little Mexican town, and so did my grandma. Pretty sure we can find it. Ancestry.com.
Isn't that funny though too that you can, if you say I'm Mexican, then
It's
you
offensive.
well, and you get that response. Well,
Yeah.
you could be from Honduras, you could be, but white people can be like, I'm white. And you can't be like, well, you could be from Germany. You could be
Right?
from Scotland. We all know everyone is actually from fucking Africa.
Yeah,
if
but
we
to
really
be
want to
fair,
break it down.
white people are also the ones who are like, oh, well, you know what? Oh, I'm 2% German. I'm 4% Italian. I'm
See, that's my mom right there.
60% Dutch.
That's
like-
my mom right there.
I got a little bit of the Swedes in me. And
Some
I'm
of
not
them.
talking ancestry.
I think they do that though, so they can prove they're not racist.
Do you think that's what it is?
But no, it's not because they're listing
think
all
so.
white countries.
Yeah,
Because-
but then they'll throw in like, oh, and I'm 0.6% sub-Saharan.
Right,
You know, like,
right.
But see, it
I've got
went
0.1% Navajo in me.
because it was the taco thing that I had to do. It went from me saying I'm Mexican to people telling me I'm Latinx to, well, you have blue eyes, you're white.
Ooh, wait.
But I still want to Latinx.
You don't have blue eyes.
I don't.
No. It doesn't look like it. It looks like you have like green, I think. Or
I would
brown.
say green too, but
Yeah.
if I was just
But yeah, I mean, and
she's like, whatever, I'll take it.
Whatever, I'll let
pretty
it
sure
slide.
I had blue eyes, but okay. But would you ever be that person? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like Jay said, you know, yeah, I'm Mexican. No, motherfucker.
Half of it though is because I don't care.
Right.
Like I know that would turn into a long conversation with someone, and I don't care. You
I
know,
think
like
I
if
was
I
just
met
done.
if
It
I
was
met
such
a
long
black
day.
guy and he was like, "Yeah, I'm black," I'd be like, "No, you're
You're black
really
Hicks."
from the Sudan." And like, no, but fucking who cares?
you know,
I don't want to get in that conversation.
from
I
a
wanna
guy
fucking talk.
from a guy who gets asked his race a lot. I know. I can relate to you guys. I feel the same. I get asked all the time like, "Listen, are you
I
white?"
thought you were Latinx.
No, you'd be. A lot of people are like, you know, I could see a little bit of Mexican in you. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Well,
Just-
Jorge would leave. No, but I mean, like I'm like you. I never get asked because everyone thinks I'm just white.
yeah.
And,
Isn't that weird?
But I'm surprised they don't
No,
think
he
you're
looks
white.
white.
You look white.
I'm very
You do
white.
look very
We
white.
pass. Like
Yeah, you guys would be cool.
we
when,
could be
like-
on either side.
When they start knocking on the door.
Yeah, when
looking.
Trump sends out his little minions, you guys will be fine.
See,
Just
I
don't
feel
tell them your
like-
last name. If you say
Right.
Buentello, you're
I'm
done.
screwed. Like I feel like my son and I are safe, but my husband and daughter are gonna be gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, after that kind of upheaval, half of your family remaining is better than like what a lot of the Jews went through. So you know,
Yeah. Rest in peace, family.
just let them go. You can replace half of them.
Yeah, you guys
They
breed
will.
like rabbits. Like it's not hard to just
You're not
like,
wrong.
oh, we lost Billy. Let's just pop out another.
You know what's weird about that
Huh?
is I've actually noticed that to be the exact opposite truth.
Of Mexicans?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nowadays
Look
they're
at
not
look at
having
Cody's
as many
outrage
kids.
knowing all the Mexican families that he knows and, and he runs
No,
with.
seriously.
'Cause he knows tons of them, doesn't he?
Okay,
He's
but
related
see-
You
to
know, how do you know I don't?
because like from my family who is Mexican. Like I think there's
Yeah, but your dad
Three?
ruined it because he's white.
no, but like my
No.
other side.
His mom's side's Mexican.
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
all.
I said his
they're-
dad ruined it.
they're
not a
full
full
Mexican.
Mexican family.
on my mom's side is a full Mexican family, and there's not that many kids.
It's true.
And even
Yeah.
Tanya's got like 2. And
It's
The-
because my dad
as
said
far as the
no.
dirt built up upon that womb, she ain't having another one.
Because I guess that is
Not
more of a
wrong.
Catholic thing. And
Yeah.
Mexicans
Yeah,
like
it
to
is.
reside in that Catholic falsity.
When I was listening to, he's one of it's Jesse Lee Peterson, and as he says, the blacks and the Mexicans do not believe in God anymore, and they don't believe in their religion. They're evil people. And you know what? In some manner, as far as the religion aspect, he's kind of right. Most
I could see
ethnic
that.
people have dropped religion, like as much as they used to be,
Yeah.
like all about it. Like you have a higher percentage of them not about it anymore.
Well,
I'm
and
not
now
saying
that-
majority are still religious, but
No, but I mean, when you bring it up, think about all the people you know, and like the practicing Catholics. Like, I could name a couple of Mexican girls who have like 7 kids, and they are practicing Catholics. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
close your legs. Do you know what the fuck happens?
well, it's
You
a God,
shit out
it's a
another
God thing
kid.
in general, isn't
They
it?
don't believe
Is
in
it?
contraception either.
Well, I mean,
Fuck that.
technically in the Bible, aren't you not supposed to waste your seed no matter what?
Well, that and you're supposed to go out and multiply.
Yeah, to spread the word of Christ.
Yeah.
It's kind of what the Muslims. It's what all religions.
They're basically
based
just
on.
raising an army.
It's a conquering
I mean,
idea.
if you don't have to
Theologically.
believe in contraceptives, just swallow. It'll stop a lot.
Well, you can't do that. That's sodomy.
What? Sodomy's in your ass.
No,
That's-
sodomy's oral or anal.
What?
Mhm.
Damn. That explains the charge.
Which is the first reason when I'm reading the Bible and it's like, they're talking about Sodom
Jay's like,
and
"Fuck
Gomorrah,
this," and he
and they're like,
closed
"No,
it.
we don't do this." I'm like, "I'm out."
Hey, right.
You're telling me I can't get a BJ without going to hell? I'll see you soon, Satan. I'm not gonna pass up on a BJ for something that might not exist.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue. I love a good blowjob.
You gonna touch on that one or?
Nah,
Okay.
I
He's
don't.
good.
I don't question it.
Yeah, me either.
Probably got a bigger dick than either one of us.
Probably.
So aside from making cutesy little pictures, which by the way, me and Steph almost mocked you and followed up with our own rendition of your pictures.
My appreciation post.
Yes.
Is that, yeah.
Aside from that, what did you do this weekend?
Jack shit.
You do anything? You didn't go
no,
anywhere?
not really. It was a very at-home weekend.
Yeah, get some cleaning done.
Lame.
No.
No.
Jack shit, literally.
You just like you left the studio, you went to your house, sat in a chair, and then just sat there until Sunday night.
Essentially. Yeah.
What are you, 60?
I mean, I like not doing anything.
That almost literally was my yesterday.
You really
Nice.
didn't want to do anything at all. Like, it was hard to even get you to leave your house for 5 seconds.
No, when you swung by, I was just like, "Here you go, see ya." I'm going back in.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I
You
respect
did.
that.
You did. It's
Well,
great.
I mean, it's football for one,
Right.
right?
didn't care.
So you got to watch football.
Which, by the way, go Dolphins.
Yeah,
Taking
what
down
an
the Pats.
amazing play.
Yep.
Even a non-football fan should be impressed by that
Yeah.
play.
And the Cowboys' final play. Did you see that too?
I did. Which, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are hating on the Cowboys, but rather you look at it or not, like Amari Cooper caught that pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just wasn't destined. Plus, the Eagles suck. The Cowboys suck too. I mean, they're both not good teams. I'm tired of hearing the whole well, the Cowboys are going to make a run in the playoffs. No, they're not. They're going to play one. They're going to play one good team, and they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good game, regardless. The Chiefs game was really good. Did you see that 4th and 9 play?
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So yeah, a lot of good football. Then I decided, me and my son have recently started giving a shit about Harry Potter.
Really?
Yes.
Never was I just never gave a shit before.
Yeah.
And then was it Friday night? We watched the second one.
Did you
And I
love
was
it?
like, I kind of like this.
Which one's the second one?
I don't know.
Chamber of Secrets?
Yes, that's it. The Chamber of Secrets.
It is? I thought that was the first one.
No, the first one is the Sorcerer's
Stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? No, it's not.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
It is.
Oh.
I consider myself into Harry Potter more than what I should be.
Because I actually read the book. I remember. That's the only book I read. It was a
I really
really
like the
good
Chamber
book.
of Secrets one.
It was a good movie.
I really like that one with the werewolf dude.
Yeah,
That's
that
number
was.
3.
Yeah, it was number 3.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. That one actually freaked me out a lot as a kid.
That's what we saw last night.
Like, just like the sounds and shit that and how he moved. Like, as a kid, I was like, oh, God, what the hell?
Freaked me out too.
I really like how he says, as a
Yesterday.
kid. And I'm like, fuck.
No, I'm sure if I watched it now, it'd still kind of be like, like,
Have you gotten him the book to read, the first one?
No, God no. He's 6.
so
That's a huge books.
My kids read it.
then he'll read it till he's 7. I'm just saying, it's not like he's got a certain amount of time.
Suggested reading on that book doesn't start till you're 12. For
Well,
one.
Make your
But-
child a prodigy.
2, I mean,
My kids
you
read
got to
it.
watch the movies first. I
No,
think.
what the fuck is wrong with you? See, and that has always been a huge fight in my house. If you want to watch a movie, you got to read the book first.
What? Why?
Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yep.
You read all the books?
Fuck yes, I have, except the last one he's still writing.
Oh yeah, who's Cold Hands?
Why are you doing this right now?
Because you read the books, you know. I'm just calling you out. Who's Cold Hands?
Why are you bringing up Cold Hands?
Because he's a huge, important part of the actual books.
But not in
Well,
the
and
show.
so is Lady Greystone, but you don't see that problem. Well, I do see a problem
Yeah,
with
but
that.
everyone
Okay,
knows
you know what? Here's the problem with that. Why do they change the book so good? And you know what? And I will give Game of Thrones a pass. It's still a good show. Like with some fuck you.
No, look, that comes from a place of love. Game of
Right.
Thrones, season 1 through 5,
Fantastic.
amazing. I'd give it 5 stars all day. After about season 5,
Then they
I don't
killed
know.
Hodor.
No, it's not even that for me.
Fuck you.
Like, I'm fine.
Hodor.
I'm fine with
That
all the
was
deaths.
That's
and
when I lost
everything.
respect.
That was so sad. Oh,
It's
God, I love
how
Hodor.
quickly it progresses through everything. Like it goes from like this
Yeah.
long story
It does.
where you respect these like long conversations they have, and you're into this, and then it's just like a sprint. Like everyone's dying, things are flying, dragons are killing people. It's like, ugh, I don't know. Like, I want to go back to the story of it.
Yeah.
You know, like they abandoned that a while ago. I think.
I think they did simply so they could finish it. Do you know what I mean? It's a huge undertaking.
Yeah, but why was there? Why, if they felt like they had to compromise the quality, why didn't they just keep going?
I
They're
don't
already
know.
talking about making a prequel.
I don't think it's a prequel. It's the Targaryen history.
Are you sure? Because I thought they were gonna do it on Dunk and Egg.
They were.
Yeah.
There's a prequel. And then there's also the Targaryen history, but then there's also one that I heard on
About the Morning Sword.
Yeah, the Morning
Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Sword of the Morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said Morning Star. I was like, no, that's not right.
That's an AFI song.
But
But yeah, they're doing all that. So why not just let it? I mean,
No, you're not wrong.
was it like? I'm thinking of HBO shows like Arliss. Arliss had like 20-some seasons, and Arliss sucked.
hey, whoa. Watch it.
Entourage had
Entourage
a
was
fuck ton of
kick-ass.
seasons. I mean, why would you want to shut down the best-selling series you've had? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I know. You're not wrong. Completely. I do still love me some Game of Thrones. Counting down the days it comes back.
You ever watch Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Have you read the books for both?
The Lord of the Rings, yes. Star Wars books, I don't find impressive.
You know, that's funny because there really aren't many Star Wars books. So you just
actually-
got caught in a lie.
And actually, the Star Wars books are better.
They are. They're
They're
really good.
amazing.
But
Are
they
you gonna
don't
start
follow
talking about what's that fucking little green guy that you
Yoda.
love?
Fuck you.
No.
What?
Gay you are.
No. The bounty hunter guy that you're in love
The
with.
little-
He's not a
He's
little
not
green
little green guy. It's his armor.
Yeah. It's Mandalorian. Everyone knows it.
Get it right.
No, actually, there's a really good book, though.
They are.
I never really got into them, and I know that's
But okay,
insane.
and I'm just saying, like, let me show you my take on the whole Harry Potter thing. Number one, I don't have time to read those books. They're too big. I'm reading adult books about, like, I don't know. I'm reading Bob Woodward's books. I'm reading Noam Chomsky's books. I don't have time for. I'm
The
reading,
old Nom. The old Chomsky.
which I bet you neither one of you even know who that is, but you should if you're progressives. I'm reading Neil deGrasse Tyson's new book. I'm reading adult books, but I enjoy a little escape. But if I were to read Harry Potter, I guarantee I'd watch the movies and be like, ugh, this sucks.
Yeah.
See, why build up if it's going to be damn.
Ignorance is bliss.
You know, that's my
Yeah.
take. That's exactly my take. Because I'm sure they fuck it up in the movies.
They do.
See? Why would I want to ruin a movie
And like,
that I already had a hard time getting into the first time?
yeah, and like the Hobbit series, or the one book, but the movie series, book was definitely better. And part of me kind of wishes I hadn't read the book because the movie was good. Movies were good, but I was disappointed
Right?
because I was like, the book was better.
I don't know how many times when we were watching Game of Thrones together, I'd be like, motherfucker, why aren't they bringing this
Right.
guy in? What happened? Fucking, he's not there. How did they kill Shireen? She's supposed to be on the island with... Yeah. She was supposed to be on Bear Island. She's not dead.
Well,
Just
Bum,
saying.
bum, bum.
I know. Well, I mean, it's in the series, she's dead. But, yeah. Anyway, if you guys have comments on that, 316-778-0529. That's right, 316-778-0529.
that's right.
And you can
just said it.
discuss.
You forgot it.
I know. Hey, it's amazing I remember the number.
I'm kind
really
of impressed
is,
that
actually.
he does, you know?
So we, by the way, yeah, we were pretty much ready to make pictures, me and my wife. that-
What?
The same poses that you
Oh,
and your
for real?
girlfriend were doing, but funnier.
I wish you would have. I
was
would have
really
gotten a
thinking
kick out of
about it.
that.
I was really thinking about it. Like, if I was more motivated, I would do shit like that.
I wish you would have.
But I'm just like, fuck
And
it.
by the way,
The idea is funny, but
you know how I know you had a super lazy weekend was because I could actually scroll down Facebook and I would see multiple posts from you, just like funny stuff. They weren't political; they were just like funny posts. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is like actually sharing stuff on Facebook.
I had a weird 24 hours though. I actually meant to ask you guys this off air.
Uh-oh.
But have you guys been getting a fuck ton of friend requests
Yeah.
from real people? Yes, me too.
It's weird.
No.
Like, dude, yesterday.
Cody's like, nobody wants to be
No,
my
I
friend."
haven't.
Yesterday, I got 32 friend requests from real people.
Really?
I went
I'm-
from under 100 friends, which I'm not that active, so whatever, I don't care. Now I've got like over 150.
I don't know who these people are, and it's really beginning to weird me out.
I haven't gotten any.
Mine are all comedians.
Oh, really?
Like
You
a
have friended a
buck
lot of
ton of
comedians. And
I
see,
don't know
I
why.
think
I mean, I've
made
done a few
mistake.
spots on a few shows. I've done a little bit of extra work. I have no idea what happened just yesterday.
I made a mistake, and I was joking with Alex Elkin. He was making fun of new comics that send him video
Yeah.
clips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
And so I said, hey, send them my way. Thinking, would it not be hilarious to have some stuttering You know, that's just right up our alley. You would not believe how many people. So, are you booking a room? What the fuck is that? Are you propositioning me? Like, are you gonna pay me? No, like they want to be a comedian.
Yeah, no, you paid them.
Fuck that.
What? They're asking you to book a room for them?
They're asking if I'm booking rooms. Yeah.
That's
Like,
probably how they get hit up, though.
do you think so?
I bet you that's how Biggs does his job. But he spends a lot of time in what I call the Tanya position. Just
Thought
hand,
that was on her back.
hand half cocked up.
You're not
on
wrong.
Broadway.
You're not wrong.
Trade you a blowjob for a cigarette.
I only said that for Mike Cannon.
You got a Lucy? I need a Lucy.
I only promised Mike Cannon, I do blowjobs to further his career. I was trying to be a good friend.
Yeah. I don't think there's a single person that you'd be in contact with that could
Right?
help his career at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think
Kind
you're
of
wrong.
punching up, I think.
Yeah.
He was impressed that I said it. I mean, before
We need
I
to have him
Me-too'd
back on.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
I've said that too. We need to have a lot of other people. Like Alex Elkin. I love his new video.
Oh my
That
god.
little video series he did. That's
Oh.
fucking funny as shit.
Guy about
We
dying
got out of
laughing.
Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was really funny.
He did post the whole 5-minute unedited version.
That and like that's the thing. If I had ambition, I would do more shit like that. Because I think about it, I'm like, oh, this would be really funny. Yeah. All right.
I thought about
I'm
it.
putting the new Harry Potter on.
Nice. So that's really all you did this weekend, isn't it?
I think I did something Saturday, but I don't know if I did. I'm trying to just. I don't even know if I left the house Saturday. Yeah, I did. I did, but not much.
Nice.
I went video game shopping, and
For
about
what
it.
Game?
GTA 4 for the Xbox One.
Fuck yeah.
Never beaten it. I
Really?
never really got that far in it, so pretty excited about that.
Life goals.
I know, right?
That's funny. I was playing GTA 5 this weekend.
It's a good game. I just played it so many times. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's been a hot minute since I played it.
It sucks though because like I was excited to play it Saturday night, and I kind of drank too much,
Yeah.
so like it wasn't as fun.
Really?
Like, well,
You did?
Yeah, I had like three or four drinks. I
By
think.
yourself?
Yeah, well, I was hanging out. You know,
Oh.
having a good time.
By yourself.
No. I was having a hang. I was doing a hang. You know, as you do with people. And
Did you get invited?
then
Yeah.
No, I didn't
That's
either.
why I don't believe that he was hanging
I
with
have other
people.
friends.
No,
No,
you
you
don't.
don't.
I do.
You shouldn't,
When?
Why?
because we're your friends.
You hung out with other people. So do you.
I hang
He
out with
didn't
like
leave the house this weekend.
I hang out with two,
Which I still
two
don't
other
believe.
people.
I still don't believe you.
No, I mean, listen. To be fair, you're both right. Like I was actually at my girlfriend's house, but like once I was there, I really
But
didn't
see,
leave a
when
whole
Cody
lot.
goes out, he does the selfie thing. So he's like, fuck, if I post this, then I don't have to leave for a month.
It's true.
You didn't post shit. And normally you do. That way people are like, oh, he did leave the house.
I don't really do selfies, but I take pictures of the environment.
Don't usually, actually. Unless it's like for a purpose. How many pictures did I take at Matt's wedding?
We're not in any.
0.
I am.
Big ol' 0.
That's because we didn't do anything for Matt's wedding. You
I
were
didn't either.
important.
I just take a picture of like the loony bin and stuff because those are comics and stuff. That's
Yeah.
for our, this
I like the
shit.
loony bin.
But anyway, but I stopped drinking at like I think 3, and then I was kind of like in that downward kind of like,
Yeah.
ugh, I just feel shitty.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play and I'm like trying to be excited and I'm like, this sucks. I'm gonna go put King of the Hill on.
Wow. You guys are
I've
great.
watched so much of that show. I could actually do pretty much all the parts.
Right. Oh shit. Well,
Yeah, it's,
none of us did jag shit this weekend.
I
Wait, did
made
anybody
tacos.
ask you?
no.
Oh, yeah,
Does
I
anyone
don't care.
I made tacos. I didn't do anything.
Did you?
You went
save
to
any for us?
Sonic on Sunday.
Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about that. I did go to Sonic.
How's your daughter's driving, by the way?
You know what? I have not.
Hopefully better than hers.
It-
I know.
she did good leaving your driveway.
Can she? You talked about wanting to go out Thursday night up to the loony bin, right? Well, can she drive? Okay, because I just can't trust you driving.
You can't go Thursday night. It's ladies' night.
That's why he wants to go. I did not drink the last time. That was you.
No, I'm saying like, and even if we go to like another political rally, something, it's either got to be your husband or your daughter that drives.
What?
Cody's with me on this.
Yeah,
The
I
way
totally
up,
am.
The way up, no one was intoxicated.
Yeah, and
And-
I'm pretty sure you spent more time in the other lane than we did our own.
You're fucking with your stereo.
And
I
her
was
phone.
on the right- and her phone.
And her
yes.
phone. She was on a phone call, like multiple of them, the whole way up
Amazing.
there.
Busy.
Dialing. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that number, so I'm gonna dial it and look it up as I'm
Right.
driving
Right.
down the fucking highway.
Okay, but that's how busy I am all the time. You
That's great.
You
That's
but
fine.
You were
But
really
crash
paying that
while
much
you're by
attention.
yourself.
And I was talking to your wife too. She didn't seem to have a problem.
Yeah, but you're women. You have no regard of what good driving is.
Yeah.
Hey, one of you guys could have drove. No one
I
volunteered.
yes, actually I did.
Did you?
Yes,
Yeah,
because I
you
was
did.
like, dude, keep it in your lane. You're like, do you want to drive? I was like, yes. Pull over and I will
Well,
drive.
when I was pulling over to this lane, you got mad.
Because you were in the wrong lane.
That was
Minor
oncoming
detail.
You
traffic.
can't. Here's the problem is when I tell you to pull over to our lane and you go one lane over and you're still not in our lane. That's a problem.
I was playing a game on my phone. Leave me alone.
That's
Yeah.
why I hate it when people are like, well, do you want to drive? And I'm like, yeah, let me drive. And they're like, no, you're not going to drive my car. Like, well, then fucking drive straight.
Pay attention.
Jesus Christ.
It's one job.
I
Got
was. I had
important
like
stuff
one
to go to.
eye on the road and the other on your wife. It was great.
You don't have a lazy eye. You're not a fucking catfish.
No, she did. She's really, because she's driving a lot now. And since she had her birthday, she can drive to
Happy
school
birthday.
and to dance because she works there. So I didn't realize because we made 3,000 tacos and like 200 salsas and all sorts of stuff. But I didn't realize people kept handing my kid their car keys to go to Sonic and pick up food and drinks for them. Because that's not really how it's supposed to work.
I thought it was a taco drive. I didn't think people were
Okay,
like,
when you get to like 300 tacos and you're like, you know what, fuck this. I want a cheeseburger. I want Sonic. I didn't realize how many people actually gave my child their keys. So when I questioned it, this one mom was like, well, my kid's not comfortable driving. Her kid is 17. Mine's 15. You gave your Lexus keys to my 15-year-old. So it was a little awkward. But we ran into a problem when we left your house because I told her to just back up and go the way we came.
Yeah.
She didn't because she didn't feel comfortable doing
It's
that.
a very small.
You do have a small street. It's weird.
Yeah.
So
And then
she-
there's people who park right behind my driveway.
which is why she didn't want to back. So she backed up and went and was going around the block, and she's very careful, and she was going pretty slow. And you could hear like a rumble coming, so I knew this car was speeding. And my daughter was like, okay, oh, look, stop sign right there so we can go through. Guy ran the stop sign and almost hit us.
Nice.
It was horrible, and my kid just cried because she felt like she did something wrong. And-
Did you fuck with her?
No, I didn't.
Like,
would've.
what the fuck?
She was too upset. I mean, we ended up turning the wheel. She did a 360 trying to get it. It was bad.
She did a 180. First of all, Jesus Christ.
No, it was bad. I felt she was so upset. So when I got out, this kid who ran the stop sign and was speeding goes, "Fucking bitches." I lost my cool. And I know that surprises you
You
guys,
lost your cool? Never.
right? This kid had to be like close to my daughter's age. And I grabbed him by his collar and yanked him out of his fucking car and just went completely off on him. And then I called his mom on his cell phone and explained what he did. So when we left, this kid is sitting, his car is still in like the intersection, and he's sitting there crying, waiting for his mom to come pick him up. And I was like, get in the car, let's go. And my daughter's like, I'm sorry, you didn't do anything wrong.
No, I mean, you just like assaulted a minor, but whatever.
How do you know these people?
What do you mean?
Like, how did you know the kid?
Because I got him out of his fucking car by the neck of like a shirt, started screaming at him. I said, where the fuck's your mom? And he just handed his phone over. So I called mom.
What a bitch.
This is right by my house?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sometimes
I
I
figured I
go a
would've
little
heard something.
crazy. Sorry.
It's kind of a quiet.
Have you ever
neighborhood.
considered not being psycho?
No. That's
You
part
should.
of my Latinx.
That's how you catch a charge.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been charged yet.
Yeah. Just wait. Because once
I'm
they figure
waiting.
out you're Mexican, you will.
They're going to deport me. That's
if we're
cool.
lucky.
So what do you got as far as stories?
Now
I've got a
we've
lot
killed
of
a half
stories.
hour of bullshit.
You're wanting to talk about Trump, aren't you?
No, well, we got to, and I want to leave at 6:30 today.
It's not always about you, is it?
Well, you guys can finish.
Hey,
up the
whoa,
show.
I was going to say, shut up. Let the man leave at 6:30. It's all right.
Seattle and Minnesota are playing a Monday night game. I love
It'll
the
be a
show.
good
I love
game.
my listeners, but I love Seattle.
It'll be a good game.
Seattle. Is that the one with the bird?
A hawk, Seahawk, or an osprey. Osprey. Yeah.
Osprey.
Osprey. It's a weird creature. I don't even know if it actually. Just go.
It's basically just a hawk.
Yeah.
I did that just for the look on
That
your face.
flies over the water.
So it was determined last week that Centoya Brown will serve 51 years in jail. Have you gentlemen heard of this?
No, actually.
I have, yeah.
Centoya Brown?
Centoya Brown was 16 when she ran away from home to live with her 25-year-old boyfriend, who was also a pimp. His name was Cold Cut.
What a bitch. Hey, what's up, Cold Cut?
No, it's Cutthroat. I read it wrong.
Okay, that's better.
I did. I was like, cut. Cold
Of
Cut?
course, coming from Tanya, it's got to be deli meat.
Right.
He
No,
goes
it's-
by the name Pastrami.
What's up, T-bone steak?
But so that was in 2004. And what happened was he started beating her, surprisingly, and he started pimping her out to men.
Got to do.
Right? You can't trust women.
Hose up or hose down, pimps up.
Hose down.
Right
Oh
on,
my
brother.
God. But the last person he pimped her out to raped her repeatedly over several hours and beat her.
And that person is now on our Supreme Court.
Wow.
Well, I was going to agree with you, but he's not. But what he did do was threaten to kill her multiple times during this hour-long rape session. So while he was busy, he informed her he was going to get a gun and shoot her. So as she's tied up, she somehow got a hand loose and reached in a purse and shot him in the back of the head. She was found in this hotel room by the wait staff. A maid came, heard the noise. What was determined was she still killed him. And she's also African. So that was in 2014. So it was determined last week in court, because she did commit murder, she will serve 51 years in prison. No chance of parole at all.
Yeah, it's a really fucked up situation.
Which didn't we just talk about Epstein last Wednesday and how
Right.
he repeatedly raped minors?
Why 51 years? I mean, I don't know. People don't
right.
usually get that much for a single murder.
Because murder was the case that they gave her.
That was, I'm pretty impressed with you for that. I'm not going to lie.
No, I mean, it was a manslaughter's first degree.
It
which
was
is
not
bullshit.
just manslaughter. They also considered it a cruel and unusual crime.
Yeah.
It's a direct quote. Cruel and unusual.
It's because he didn't get his money back.
And where did this take place? I can't remember.
If I am thinking, it's Florida.
See, that's what I thought.
Why does that not surprise me?
Either Florida is really fucked up or really good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no middle ground with Florida.
There is something wrong with Florida. Let's just be honest.
Saw the K2 down there in Crocodile.
You're not wrong.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
I like me some crocodile.
Yeah.
The only plus side of this story is it has now gotten to Kim Kardashian's west.
Oh, Jesus
But,
Christ.
okay, and here's my thing about that, though, briefly. She is not, like, Secretary of Defense.
No.
Like,
She's not.
She is in nowhere
No.
that position. That's not her job. And what are we going to just rely on celebrity? Like, especially from an administration who hates celebrities.
Exactly.
And a group.
Which is weird because the president is a celebrity.
I know. But are we going to rely on celebrities to call these things out and fix them? I mean, bless her heart if she can do it.
Yeah,
and I'm right behind her if she can do it.
I'm not disagreeing
But
with you. It's
the idea.
Exactly.
Like,
But to that note, I mean, who's going to be heard more? You or me, or
yeah,
a celebrity,
I mean,
or Kim Kardashian? Everybody in America knows
I
who Kim
can't fault
Kardashian
her
is.
if she's willing, because she's willing to spend the money to get a new lawyer and to start a new trial. Because technically, this child was 16 when it happened.
and that's great.
And I don't think it's...
honestly, that's
you would
starting
think-
to build up where Kim
And
Kardashian's
from your
legacy
point of
may
view,
lay.
why do we have to have celebrities do this? Why can't people be fucking decent?
Well, I don't think it's that we rely on celebrities to do it. I think it's they have means that we don't. They have a larger voice than we do. They have more money than we do. They can do things and be heard by people that won't hear us.
I think a public outcry should be addressed.
I kind of agree.
In what instance is it ever?
Never, but
Exactly.
it should be.
So what's the point?
It took
Technically,
forever
from Cody's,
for Flint.
if we're going to deal with Cody, there was a women's march to help support Centoya. It was shut down, and from Fox News, it was reported that these women were going rampant in the streets for no cause.
That's what they do, though.
You know how they are.
You
Yeah.
can't trust bitches.
Again, if you listen to some of the people I listen to, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, But you
Yeah.
guys remember the Women's March? You guys were all
Yeah.
out there, weren't you? I know I was. Were you?
No,
No?
I could not go.
No.
Sadly,
What?
I did have
What
family
kind of
members.
room am I in?
I did have family members go, but I could not personally go.
I was marching on this road that was set out just for where our feet are supposed to lay,
You and I were planning on going,
with high kicks.
but I can't. I think I had work or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, work back then.
What?
He was probably
was
working
before-
your shift.
This was
you
before
dick.
work, Cody.
Oh.
This is before I really had I didn't have my business then.
So
Oh,
what
you're
were you
right. It
doing?
was that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't
2
remember
years
then.
ago.
Maybe I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah, you
Oh my
probably
God.
didn't give a shit.
Fairly possible.
But my point is, okay, so I was listening to Limbaugh. He was talking about it,
Gross.
and he was reminiscing about the Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and he even said, even during the Women's March, there was just so much violence and destruction.
Women. Are you serious?
Homie, I was there. Like, I was at least at one of them. There was no violence and destruction. In fact, there was a lot of people just standing around talking.
Yeah.
See, and that makes more sense because they're women. That's
what they do.
they do, they
Run their
talk.
mouth. Blap, blap. I don't care what happened at work, woman. They just all come. They see a man and like, oh, I'm going to talk to him.
Jay showed up and he's like, any of you bitches got sandwiches?
I'm going to tell you about a bunch of shit that happened at my job and you won't care. Oh, and then my friend Tisha, she did this. Okay, fine. I'll take it. It's part of my reparations I'm paying for being an evil white man. Since you squawk on about your bullshit.
Oh my God. Wow.
Isn't it amazing? I can, in one way, be like pro-woman, and then on the other
You just knock it all out of the park. Well, not only was there this Women's March for Centoya Brown, there was also started on Saturday called T1 International, and it's a new movement coming across the country. It's for the T1 diagnosis of diabetes, and they're going for the cause that insulin should be available for all. And it was started by Angela Lautner, who became diabetic at 18. And she was the type 1, which is the insulin for life. Mm-hmm. Her insurance, due to certain people as changing laws in our insurance, last year her insurance dropped her because being diabetic is now a pre-existing condition. So she's having to pay $600 a month for her insulin.
And see, that's one of those things that a lot of people aren't paying attention to. Because another thing that really kind of caught on this weekend was, crazy old AOC, yes. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's fucking insane. She's talking about privatized healthcare companies that have death panels. That's exactly what she was talking about, though.
And see, and I think, and I agree with you, because people don't understand. And that's why this T1 movement is starting to take notice. Because when they started it on Saturday, 8,000 people have lost their insurance because they were diabetic. And they are paying hundreds of dollars.
And that's just the diabetic people.
That's
the
just
cancer
diabetes.
People are way the fuck up there.
It's
in
very
numbers.
sad.
It's a death panel, whether you like it or not.
You're right.
And, one other thing that happened this weekend that pertains to that, and I remember coming into this show, this studio, almost a year ago, probably a little bit less. But Donald Trump gave a speech about how he's going to negotiate better prices with Big Pharma. We're not going to be bullied around anymore by them.
Whatever.
And I said, you know what? That's awesome if he can do that. There's some great things about the speech that he gave, and I gave him all the credit for doing that. So we got our new pricing.
How'd that work
this
out?
last week, and Pfizer kicked him in the dick. Is basically what happened, because they have a drug, and I can't remember the name of it, but it is actually for diabetes, but it is a type 2, and it's a pill that almost nobody takes. Their sales on that dropped 400%, right? So that drug, they dropped 25% of the cost.
That
Like,
nobody's
look,
buying.
hey, we're doing that. But then
Oh
one
my
of the
God.
type 1 insulins, they
And
raised the price 32%.
Well, and that's what they're talking about. I'm trying to find the name for this one. It's one of the most expensive ones. It's a Novo Nordisk, and it goes towards her insulin pump, which is why it has to be a certain brand. So not only does this woman have type 1, she has an insulin pump. She has sold her home, moved back into her parents' house, and now her parents have come out of retirement because they can't afford her insulin bills. So I'm really hoping, and they were up to 12,000 people for T1 International. And I hope this takes over because, like cancer patients, if you don't take your medicine, you die within an hour or two for some people.
It depends. But yeah, you definitely can't go longer than a week or so.
A lot of places, Fox News was one of them reporting on it, has also reported that if you are type 1, you can control it with your diet. Once again, type 1 diabetes, you are born this way.
Yes.
You can't control it with your diet. So please, people, stop listening to Fox News.
Stop blaming the victims. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. But yeah, no, if you look through that entire, which I did, I spent part of my Saturday evening looking at the new price sheet. And I took a handful. I didn't go through every fucking drug
It's
in the
hard to go-
pharmacology.
yeah,
There's a
I
fuck
get
ton.
it.
But I did do random samples, and every drug that Pfizer had lowered the price on, and Pfizer, by the way, not the only one. It's just the one that I saw. They're the only ones dumb enough to release their pricing. But every drug that they dropped the price in also didn't sell for shit. And every drug that they raised the price in were in the top 10 of their best selling of that, for that cure for whatever cause it may ail.
Yeah.
So listener Haley just sent us a message, and according to Haley, her insurance changed last year too. So to go along with the pre-existing conditions, Haley says that if you have asthma, cancer, female cancers, like breast cancers that most females get, breast, uterine, PCOS, diabetes, migraines, Meniere's, these have all been considered pre-existing, so they are no longer covered by insurance.
And what else is very disturbing too is we were talking about on
Thank you,
Friday. Another thing is if you get cancer, insurances can debate fighting you with that if you've had moles.
Yes.
Moles that aren't even cancerous. Like
That's
the
not good.
doctors can say, no, it's not cancerous. This was not pertaining to the cancer. The insurance companies can still fight that. In fact, Cody and I reported on that. So we're talking about the death panels.
So according to Carrie, who sells insurance, our listener Carrie, most cancer insurances have now dropped or will be dropped. Testicular cancer is still fully covered on most insurance plans.
I would be
Carrie.
interested to ask her if that's because it's very seldom used. I mean, testicular cancer is not a major cancer.
She says you are right, but also prostate cancer
Good
isn't
God.
one
Fuck,
that
she's quick.
is-
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. It's kind of freaky when our listeners are texting,
I
right?
know, seriously.
Okay, well, thank you, Carrie, for that information. We appreciate that.
Bing, you're welcome.
Fire fingers carry.
Yeah, seriously.
It's amazing. It takes me a year and a half to get out a text.
It does.
I'll be there in one. Oh, no, not one.
That's why when you
O-N.
call, I know that you can't text.
Yeah. I'm just being all old man and crippled.
And you want to know something ridiculous while we're bashing on Pfizer?
I did say one of many.
Right, no, I know, but I have friends who work for Pfizer, and they have told me where they have, the vials of medicine. A little vial, about 15 milliliters. Dude, they've handled vials that each one is worth $800, and it's not even full. It's a quarter of the way full.
Is it supposed to be full or?
It's a powder.
Oh.
What's it called? They like flash freeze it kind of. They
Oh,
suck all
gotcha.
the
Yeah,
oxygen and
yeah.
liquid out.
Yeah.
So it comes into a powder, but it's like a quarter of the way full. So it's probably 5 milliliters. It's like $800 for a vial.
And is that a pretty common? Like, do you see?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
something they see
It's
a lot of?
very common.
That's horrible.
That's disgusting. Like, why would? In no way should we ever have to pay for that. I mean, I even think if you overeat or overdrink, we should do everything we can to help. You shouldn't have to pay to live.
Yeah.
But especially if it's something that you're born with.
They're
If it's-
pre-existing conditions. How can you stop that? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Ugh,
And you
people
can't
suck.
prove what happened to somebody or how they you just ate too much, you live a sedentary lifestyle. Yeah, but Keith Richards has been doing heroin for 100 years and he's
Exactly.
fucking fine. Like, you don't know. Like,
There's something
there's
to
not
that.
always. I know, right?
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go score me some black tar.
Right.
There's not always like this correlation, though. Yeah, there's, and I've argued with smokers because we know a smoker
Yeah.
who up and down says smoking has never proven to cause cancer.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, dude.
Well, I mean, like
Science.
Keanu Reeves'
Fucking
mother.
science.
Dude, she smoked. I think she's still alive. I'm not totally sure. But last I saw, she was like 102 or 103, and she goes through like a pack and a half a day. No cancer.
Yeah,
But then I've known people who smoked for a year, and they got lung cancer. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I know
like,
people who
there's-
don't even smoke at all, and they have
well,
issues.
and
can
they
still
get
get
lung
lung
cancer,
cancer,
mouth
'cause-
cancer.
Oh my
Yeah, because
God.
it's just fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Did you know something really depressing about cancer?
No, we're about to though.
Yeah. So, did you know that we test it wrong? Like, we're never going to cure cancer the way that we are trying to.
No, cancer is a very high-producing money thing. I mean, you're never gonna.
Well, part of the issue actually comes in with PETA and animal rights.
Because we can't test on certain
We
things.
can't test on certain animals, and
Yes.
it's cheaper. But there was a test that came out where almost 100% of the mice who were injected with this drug were cancer-free afterwards. And everyone was like, oh, this is amazing. We might have found something. And it would be if you didn't know that 80% of the time when it works on a mouse, it doesn't work on a human.
No.
Because our
Why?
DNAs are completely different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we're the furthest thing. Like we should be studying on chimps.
Bananas.
Um,
We share 99% of our
we
DNA
do,
with
we
a banana.
Do, we do.
I'm just
But I
saying.
don't think bananas can get cancer.
I'm
They
just
have brown
saying.
You take a big bite of banana. Ah, its liver had cancer. Oh.
Pigs. We
Pigs,
we-
yes.
actually, out of most animals, we more identify with pigs than we do monkeys.
And the number of cancer patients we have, we should really be doing testing on patients that have cancer.
Yeah,
I fully
but
support that.
then you'd get into the problem with, oh, is that inhumane? Like, not really. They're gonna. I mean,
Mm-mm.
listen. Here's the thing: is I would say do it with terminal people,
But I
like
mean,
prostate cancer.
there's a number of people who want to be tested on, but they won't let them.
No, they won't.
And we need to pass that. We need to allow that. If that's something, because dude, if I'm on my way out and they're like, "Hey, there's a 1 in 100 chance that this might help you,"
yeah.
fucking
Fuck
shoot
it, I'm
it
gonna
up.
die
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah,
like why
I don't
not?
care.
If you can get something useful, that's why I'm saying like terminal people who are for sure going to die, test it on them because they're gonna die. Like the prostate cancer is gonna get them.
I mean,
so why not utilize it?
and I think if you have anything though, and you just want to be, I mean, there's some people who, whatever they want
When
to.
my grandpa was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, he wanted the testing done, and he wanted the drugs that were just coming out 10 years ago. And they would not do them because they were still going through first trial humans.
Yes, yeah,
But
And
I
then-
think
and it's like, why can't I just be
they
one of
should
those
be the
people?
first trial humans. In
They
my opinion.
should.
Yeah,
I mean, because we donated his body to the Neuroblastoma Cancer Research Center in Arizona. They had his body for 7 months. And we ended up getting a letter 5 years ago that because of his donation of his body, they were able to make 20 milliliters, some kind of thing that would help relief. And so now if you get up to stage 3 neuroblastoma, the research they did with his body, they can help cure your cancer.
That's kind of cool.
But what could they
That's
have done
cool,
with
but,
him
like,
alive?
I'm so selfish. I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking great for other people.
right.
Why couldn't I have been hooked up with anything?
yeah.
I love what a
Bullshit.
toddler you are.
I've been dead 5 years. I don't know the end of Game of Thrones. This is garbage.
You're such a baby.
If there is a heaven, there's gonna be a Game of Thrones section up there.
Cody's like, I'm
listen,
gonna be there.
Listen, I'm just saying.
There's
a
a curtain
if
that
you
like,
wanna-
Jesus doesn't know about.
no, if you want to get really technical,
God, a curtain? What is wrong with you?
listen.
Like in God's Bible store.
If you want to
Or
get really
bu-
technical,
video store.
I don't remember the phrasing. Forgive me, but God said He's gonna make us all like basically a mansion, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. In my mansion, I want a Broncos center, I want a Game of Thrones center, and I want a music center and a gaming center. That's it. I don't care about the other rooms. Just that. The whole east wing can be empty.
I'm torn on that.
So, like, if you want to get technical, I mean, maybe he'd like pick your brain and be like, "Ooh, he really like this. You're like, he really like cocaine. Okay, this room."
Right.
Keith Richards is up there shooting up like,
He really likes opioids. All right, you have a Scrooge McDuck vault full of
right?
Listener
Oxycontin.
Jenna
By the
would like
way-
it if you guys would stop making her feel bad about her choices to not do heroin
I'm not saying don't do heroin though.
or to not worship Satan.
I'm not saying don't do either. Do them both, Jenna. Jenna,
Go,
Right.
Jenna.
Time.
Go,
Go,
Jenna.
Jenna. You're the girl, Jenna. But like, here's the thing. You know how dope it would be is if you could just do like black tar up there and like you get the high, but like you don't
Never
decay.
die.
Yeah.
I mean, if heaven existed,
I'm not
saying
gonna
it does
lie.
or doesn't.
Right. I know. I'm just saying.
That's
Our poor
exactly.
if
listeners.
it was, I
That's
would.
one of those things. I would be like, God would be like, so what can I help you with?
I don't know how to ask this.
Can I have just give me the hair?
Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. If that was the case, I would absolutely try meth because I wouldn't worry about.
Right,
I
'cause,
wouldn't
mean,
worry
you're
about
not
my
gonna lose-
teeth. I wouldn't.
Your
Exactly.
heart.
Yeah.
Fucking hand the meth over.
Because I'm sorry.
Crocodile.
To
I would
be-
so do that.
I mean,
I'm not
I
gonna
would just be a complete heroin
It's
guy.
got to
but-
be a hell of a high.
To lose fingers and not care, fuck yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Give me
like that's a
crocodile,
hell of a
God.
high. Not that I'd try it now, but I'm just
No,
saying,
but
like,
when I'm dead though, I'm
if
all
I'm
over
immortal-
that shit.
And somehow Cody dies before me. I show up to heaven, and like, oh yeah, here's all your friends. Or whenever I go to Cody's mansion, and he just comes out looking like the lizard from Spider-Man. Eyes are all huge. What's up, man? What's up?
You
going
need
on?
this. Wow.
see that squirrel over there?
It's delicious.
It's been staring at me for an hour now.
That's not true, though, because we all know I'd go to Cody's mansion, and I'd be like, everything would be from early 2000s. He'd be
What?
playing an Xbox,
Seriously.
like the first gen Xbox,
Dude, you
It's
He's
just
still,
like-
he does that now.
You
sitting
just-
there, and he'd be naked, but his heaven, he'd have a sensor bar.
yeah, yeah. You just go up to the door, you'd hear gin and juice playing in the background, just open the door and a bunch of smoke rolls out. That would be my heaven.
Just stoned playing.
Like, I
Some
wouldn't
old
even
Star
be
Wars
smoking,
game.
dude. I'd be doing the neighbors bit where they just got a bunch of barrels around the house and lit it full of
Oh
weed.
my
That's
God.
what I would do, because then I don't even have to smoke. I don't have to stop playing. I can just breathe in really quick and
Instead
then
of
boom.
a couch, he's on this luxurious toilet.
Oh my,
Literally,
oh my
like,
God,
right.
that's such a good idea. I don't ever have to get. It's just all there.
The armrests are made of hot pockets, so you can just take a bite.
Hey, and
Look,
I
he's
just
gonna
had hot
come.
pockets before I came here. Actually,
He's gonna come look at him.
no, seriously. So, and also the other thing that I would want is food. And I know, oh, you're in heaven. You don't have your bodily functions don't. Okay, but I want food.
The
Like,
taste is heaven.
take out.
Right?
Maybe it just goes into a black void. I don't care. I just I want a burger.
Would you miss pooping?
I would. I really would.
I know it's a weird
'Cause it is
question, but it is
so
very
satisfying.
satisfying.
And you
thing to
can't have
do.
sex up there. Like, that's kind of a downside. Of course, I guess if you're doing black tar and heroin,
Yeah, I'm sure
I
I-
guess you can get away with some other
See,
stuff.
that's the other thing I was gonna be like I would definitely go like
Oh, there'd be no
hoe
blowjobs.
diving. Like I would go after some nasty bitches.
Jay's out
I
there
would
hitting up the
raw-
angels.
like-
Like, hey, ma, that
Every
halo looks
stripper
nice.
he's ever seen.
No, I'd not be interested in
I
them.
like the way you play that harp. Let me see what those fingers can do.
I want the ones that Peter or whoever is at the gate is like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna let you in.
Jay's like, come here. What can you do to the fence? Come here.
That one.
Come here, mama. We're raw dogging this.
They just came up. They're missing teeth. They're sweaty. Jay's like, come to the fence first.
Right.
My kind of woman. If she's got extra parts up front, that's really
You
my
know how
kind of woman.
awkward that's going to be, though, if all the angels are just like babies, like they're depicted,
Oh,
like the little cherub people?
I never want to hang out with them.
I know. Well, I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I'd feel bad walking out of my house all like tweaked out, and then there's just like a baby walking around. I'm like, I'm sorry.
You're like, do you
This
wanna
just
go
reminds
get
me of
ice
South
cream?
Side Chicago.
Oh my god.
Here's some more crack for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I would, and I'd definitely look like for any of the pre-op women. Like my dick would look like Cody's skin after he's been doing crocodile for a year and a half.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, then
Your body
you
doesn't
snap
deteriorate.
Your finger and it all comes back. Or
I would.
something,
Yeah,
you
I'd
know?
kind of rather prefer that because I'd kind of like to see like the effects firsthand. Like, oh my god, my hand. My hand is like all crusty and shit. My finger just fell off and then
Finger
snap.
just
And then,
fell
oh, no, it's cool.
I'm back.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think because, like you were saying with food,
I would so chop my leg off. Be like, just fucking do it.
Oh, I don't know.
Chop
about
it
that.
off, and then when it grows
God,
back,
dark.
Right.
just watch it grow back and be like, God, I'm
Are
glad
you
I
like a
did that.
gecko? Comes back like Deadpool with the little baby legs.
She's just like really into like deep S&M, like
yeah,
really
like
Sorry.
some voyeur
Snuff
porn.
stuff.
Yeah, some snuff nasty shit.
You
Uh.
guys were sharing, and I thought it was a safe place. I forget. You're not like that.
yeah, no.
I see, and I was gonna say like just like eating. It
Oh, yeah.
feels good. Like it tastes good. Pooping feels good.
It feels better in a way.
Drugs, said heroin. Like I know, but drugs, alcohol, like it's good. You don't need it. And then there's
You know how
then
shitty-
there's Tanya in the corner with razor blades.
I know, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh God, Jesus. You know how shitty that would be is if like you're doing all this, and then you wake up and like you're actually just tweaked out.
Yeah.
Like you've been shooting up in your sleep, kind of thing.
God
like,
just kicked you out.
yeah. Like
Made you think you woke
no.
up. Oh no, now I'm hooked on meth.
Oh God.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a thought.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Forbes released a new article today.
Yeah.
Sad news for Netflix. So back in 2006, where did my article go and why the fuck is Hobby Lobby up?
You really are a mom.
Okay, there's Forbes. So Forbes released this new article. Back in 2004, when there really was no competition, Netflix was the giant back then. Not only did they just start their streaming online program, they were sending DVDs out, which sounds kind of weird nowadays, seeing as how a lot of kids don't know what a Blockbuster is.
Yeah.
According to Forbes, though, Netflix is no longer the downloading or the streaming giant it once was. Amazon Prime is now is number 3. Hulu is at number 2.
Nope.
So Netflix is getting.
So it's losing its
It is. It has also been discovered that the deal that was brokered between Netflix and Disney made obsolete when they decided they're going to pull all their stuff at the end of the year or next year. And a lot of people,
end of next year or the start of next year?
the end of next year. So
Oh.
about 2020, we're all screwed. And a lot of people have thought it's not a big deal because
It's not.
I don't have any Disney, I don't have kids. Well, the last 2 years, because this brokered deal for Netflix and
Been Star
Disney
Wars,
was
right?
only 3 years. And that was when Netflix paid Disney $6 billion to become one. They brokered the deal for 3 years with Netflix thinking that it'll become a permanent thing. Well, next year, 2020, ends the 3-year deal, and that's when Disney Plus will be launched. Disney now owns all Disney, which, we have kids.
That's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there is.
Pixar is now owned by Disney.
Yeah.
All Marvel is
When did-
Disney.
Yeah.
Disney bought Pixar a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
They recently bought old Marvel, Star Wars, ESPN, ABC, X-Men, and there are now 4 deals out there that Disney is trying to get NBC and CBS.
ESPN.
I knew
Yes.
So does that mean like
That's
Steph
why.
Curry's our new Disney prince?
That's why when you watch ESPN, they all wear suits
Yes.
and they don't talk politically very much, and
They
you
have to
know.
follow a strict Disney-supported guideline, which you wouldn't think Disney is as strict as they are,
they're super strict.
but
though.
to have lasted 100 years, they have to be. 'Cause
Which is not good considering they just the Netflix behalf just spent $100 million to keep Friends on Netflix.
That's what they were mad
Exactly.
about.
Right.
Like, oh, you got Friends again. You guys are making bad business choices. Fuck you.
Seriously.
Well, and
I
it
don't
was-
think, by the way,
What?
I don't think that's a bad thing for Netflix.
There should always be a form of healthy competition. But this February, Amazon will be spending $5 billion on new TV shows and new movies, which some movies that Netflix is producing, I really like. And like Stranger Things is a show.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's taken out. So what could Amazon come up with now that they're spending the funding on it?
They have good stuff too.
They
though.
do. And they
Amazon has a
also
lot
have
of
the
good stuff.
ordering. They're the number 1 book. They do a lot of college books.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
number 1 for books now. So there is that. It was also discovered by Forbes due to some of the stock market crashing going on. Netflix was trading 6 months ago at $400. It has now dropped to $190 a share.
Wow.
So if you're
Ouch.
going to sell your Netflix shares, you should do it now. And you should probably buy the Disney shares, which are only about 100 to 160. Because next year, when the Disney Plus streaming online service drops, those shares will eventually go up. Because how many people are going to switch from Netflix to Disney, knowing that Disney is going to be accumulating all these shows, and they will be pulled from Netflix?
I disagree.
Do you think so?
Like, from a market, if its ceiling is over $400, then you're just at a low right now. I think you
I think,
if you
but the
sell, you're
stock
going to
market
lose
is
your,
at a low right now.
exactly
It is
everywhere.
taking a
So if you
hit.
sell right now, you're going to lose money that will come back. I mean, because for one, you're always going to have Netflix. I think the one that I would not invest in would be Amazon, Amazon Prime, because
Which-
it's $60-$70 a year.
And I did not know about the streaming service until I bought Amazon Prime because I did order a lot of my college textbooks. I did it for the ordering because free shipping within 2 days is important to me.
Yeah, and it's good.
Well, and there's
good,
now what, Amazon Radio?
probably, but
And
radio's a
then
dead
the
medium.
online, because they do, not Audible, but they have the book service is supposed to be switching over that if you have Amazon Prime.
They go through Audible too.
Yeah, do they?
Mm-hmm.
But that should be available to Amazon Prime deal people in the next year, though. So
I
you can
doubt
rent
it.
books.
I highly doubt
You
it.
can rent some books now if
You
you're
can
a
rent
Prime
some,
member.
but yeah, not the good ones. You got to pay for that
Not
shit,
the
and it's
dinosaur
not cheap. Let me tell you.
Porn that I've been reading. Have
I
you been
lo-
reading that?
I love
Oh my God.
DinoErotica.
I
It's
did
the
not
most
know.
bullshit.
Have you look at
What?
Cody's face?
What?
So I was on Amazon Prime and I had read a bunch of Scottish Highland books that are a little dirty. So you know how they put recommended?
Yeah.
It was recommended, taken by the Rex. So
T-Rex?
I thought it was like animal porn, and I'm like, why would I want my dog to be?
This is so totally real.
It is. So I clicked on it thinking, well, what kind of dog? Is it a Chihuahua? It's a fucking T-Rex. And they're cave women mating with
With dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. And they're having hybrid babies.
You know, not
It's like a series of 20 books because it starts with the T-Rex and it goes all the way to like Triceratops, which the Triceratops story was very sad. Like they were decimated.
It's bullshit, by the way. That Triceratops always gets it. I mean,
I
like,
know.
You know, and
It's
then
the
the
best
end of the
dinosaur.
series, though, it talks about how the comet hit Earth, but not everybody was destroyed. And that's where the woolly mammoths are coming in. And I'm like, I'm addicted to these fucking
You know, I'm not
books.
saying that like I'm into that or anything, but I am intrigued.
Look at that.
Like,
Taken by the pterodactyl.
It's a thing.
you know, I feel guilty, but I kind of want to read this.
Dude, no,
Just
no.
'cause, like,
don't feel guilty because it's.
I don't know. Like,
Totally.
I have
There's
never been
thousands
into like, and it's
and
weird.
thousands of downloads, though.
It's just it's weird thinking about like sex with dinosaurs and like that whole scene, and but I don't know,
But I
man.
mean, think of the movie Jurassic Park. Those velociraptors, Blue. She's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to this. Okay, so as Tanya mentioned, taken by the T-Rex, ravished by the Triceratops. This
Yeah.
one's my favorite. A billionaire dinosaur forced me to be gay.
I am definitely reading that one. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
Are they free?
Some of them
Some
are.
of
Oh
them
my
are,
god.
yes.
My wife discovered DinoErotica. Like,
Dinoerotica.
God, it's been years.
I didn't
It's
realize
out
that
years
was
there.
ago.
a thing.
It's a thing.
I don't know who wrote it. I think it was probably like just some
But
fucked
I
up
mean,
guy who
that's
thought it'd be
something
funny.
we would have done in high school as we were getting high. Do you know what I mean? Somebody actually put that to paper, though.
Christy Sins, by the way.
Huh?
That's who Christy Sins. That's who wrote that pterodactyl one.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I'm sure that
I only know that because I saw like the name on it. I don't like.
he's in secret. like,
Right, I'm not like actually harboring a bunch of information. I just read it.
He's a
off of-
really big fan of DinoErotica.
Like-
He
Oh, you
got
guys are
dino
just figuring out
sheets at home.
DinoErotica?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, that's why I always had those stickers on my wall. They were good targets.
He's like, I just hope the Stegosaurus falls off my ceiling.
So, along the lines of, crazy animals.
But okay, but I just did want to say though,
Yes, honey,
on
sorry.
the whole streaming thing though, like Disney Plus is never gonna have like the sitcoms and like that good like just sit back chill type TV shows.
I'm really interested when it comes out next year, because I do the babysitting thing with the younger kids, but we also Marvel Universe. I have we do Marvel. I'm really interested to see what they do have because they do own ABC. They do own these things with TV shows. What else could they offer? I mean, Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company.
I get you. I do. I just
I'm
think like
just
if
really
anyone's
intrigued
gonna
with what
take
they're gonna
if
have.
anyone's gonna take a bath, I think it'll be Amazon Video. Having a
so.
person, I mean, being a person who owns all of it
Yeah.
and Sling TV and all that shit, I almost never use Amazon Prime, and I should because there's actually good shows.
There's, see, and that's
I
my
just-
issue.
I never
is
get around to it.
It's so easy, especially on our Roku. You have a Netflix button, the Hulu button, and something. I just push my button and go. If there is a Prime button, maybe I forget about Prime until I'm on Amazon ordering stuff.
See, my TV has an Amazon Prime button. It's
They
Amazon
also
Prime
have
and
SpongeBob
Netflix.
on Amazon though, and I do watch a lot of SpongeBob.
I watch probably more Hulu than anything.
Hulu, I am impressed with what Hulu. Puka, the fucking movie
Fuck
Puka.
Fuck.
I watched Puka today.
That
It was
is
something
fucking
else.
trippy. Did you think it was a kids movie or something?
Puka?
Puka.
You gotta check it. It's weird.
I thought it was okay, and then when I saw the rating, I'm like, "Oh God, this is a horror movie. Why would it
Is
be
it on
scary?"
Hulu?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
on
it's
Hulu.
called
Oh,
Puka.
for real.
It's scary, but it's not scary like monster scary. It's gonna mess with your mind. It's a mind fuck,
Oh, I love those movies though.
and it's not what I thought it would be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought, okay, this is what's gonna happen. I had no idea until the end
Should I like
what
get
was
high
wrong with the
before I
guy.
watch it?
I wouldn't.
I really
Really?
would.
Freak me out.
Oh,
Because
okay.
like through the whole movie, I'm like, okay, so this isn't happening. This is happening.
How do you spell it?
Pooka. Puka.
Huh, that's kinda
Yeah,
gay.
we're not kidding. It's Puka something else.
So, okay, I did want to get to some important
Can I do
news.
one more story real quick, please?
Quick one.
Okay, so we were talking about dinos and stuff. There is a new type of animal fight club in China. Have you heard this? So,
What?
I did not know this was a thing until I watched, and there are tons of videos out there. 2 weeks ago, China released bullfighting. And as a person of Mexican descent, you know, bullfighting is a big no-no. Well, I clicked on a video to watch. And from what I watched as bullfighting, you know, they kill the bulls. That's how you win. China is kung fu karate fighting bulls.
That's badass.
And I could not believe this one guy, these are huge bulls, came running, and this guy was praying and like just bonked this bull in the head and broke a fucking horn.
Jesus Christ.
And he's, you know, that,
Good God.
you know, and it reminded me of like a Jackie Chan movie because they're jumping over bulls and just beating the hell out of them. And the minute the animal goes down, they win. So they're not dead. They're just karate chopping
That's
bulls.
badass.
And there's hundreds of videos.
So kind of like how the gladiators used to fight.
I was amazed at China's bullfighting. I still feel bad they're beating animals, but they're bulls. I don't know what I would do if a bull, oh, did you look it up?
Yeah, I totally did.
But I mean, and these are
Ah.
1,000-pound animals. So yeah, I don't know what I would do if a bull came at me, but I don't think punching it in the face is something I would do. Like, I would run. So that was my last story for the day, because you want to talk about Trump. You're reading dino porn, aren't you?
No, no, I just wanted to discuss, and not completely Trump, but the chief of staff, John Kelly,
Kung
He-
fu bullfighting.
he was officially, he officially put his resignation in yesterday.
Yes.
So he's gone. And the man that was going to replace him, John Airy, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. It's weird. But he said he's...
A-E-I-R. Yeah, Airy.
He says he's not going to take it.
Nobody
There
wants
has
to be
been
with Trump.
A multiple of people who've been
But
thought
if we're
about,
being
like, can
honest,
they do it?
what would you do if Trump said, "Hey, Jay, I need you out there for me"?
Right.
Be like, these people are all in jail or getting ready to get indicted.
How do you feel about that, though? The fact that we may not be able to find a chief of staff. Chris Christie is the only one who might do it.
But that's so sad. But I mean, that just tells you the kind of people he hangs out with.
I mean, what does that say for the Trump White House and administration, especially on the heels of what's coming? And I think everyone knows what's coming. Everyone has seen the Mueller
Yes.
filing that did say he's individual one.
He's up to 3 felonies.
I like that picture you shared, by the way. Who is individual one? It just has Trump's face blacked out, but that's it.
I mean, he is the person they're looking at, and I mean, they've got him on a lot.
You know, I was really irritated that it took so long, but let's think about how they've done this. They have how many people going to jail, getting indicted? They have Eric Trump, who they're going to get.
Yeah.
They have Don Jr., who is so dumb, he doesn't have a clue what's happening. He's going to be going to jail. And they now have Ivanka with her emails that aren't a big deal to everybody, but they are because she's doing so much shady shit.
Yeah, I think
And
Ivanka.
her husband.
I don't know. I was gonna say I think Ivanka will skate, but then there's also
Her husband, who's...
well, and she had donated over $500,000 over the last 2 years to different organizations.
But it really paid for 7 abortions.
Well, no, when they actually went back and looked, and they did a census on her donations, all of these organizations said we never got it.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So
Pulled a Hillary
that's a
Clinton.
form of embezzlement. yeah, it is.
It is.
And I saw a report this weekend that I think it made me laugh, but it should make a lot of people angry. So, did you know Mar-a-Lago had hurricane damage?
No. I
No,
saw this
and you know why?
article.
Because it didn't.
Yes, they filed.
But Mar-a-Lago got $17 million.
Because of the hurricane damage they did not receive.
Wow.
Yes.
Which are still doing shit. Like, if fucking Mueller, which Mueller is a guy who I'm not a fan of as far as his political ideology, because he is a conservative. He is a, big business to get tax cuts conservative.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a prosecutor, I respect the shit out of the guy, because he's not a guy who's going to jump. Like you were saying, it's taken forever.
It has.
That's because he wants to make sure every
Well,
I
and
is
how do you
dotted, every T
explain
is crossed. He is very
Mar-a-Lago was
analytical.
not in the direct path of a hurricane.
Oh, I know.
I wish it would be, by the way.
But
I
it's just-
really wish
How do you
Mar-a-Lago just get
explain that
wiped
you
out.
got this money, though, knowing that there's people still dying in Puerto Rico where you refuse to send more money or help because you don't believe it happened?
By the way, if you can't say it like AOC, you just can't say it anymore.
How'd she say it?
I can't do it either,
Go
so I
ahead.
can't say it. But it gives me a chubby every time she does.
Because she's
That'd be cool.
AOC.
But, I mean, no, seriously, though, Mueller is incredibly dedicated to what
He
he's doing.
is.
And that's why it's taking so long. But why would you still be pulling shit, for one? Like, 17 million has got to mean nothing, really.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And yet, you're under
Yeah.
a microscope, and you're still doing shit. And I think that's kind of the fact that they can't find a replacement for John Kelly. That's a big indication.
Like a
of
slap to
how
the
bad-
face? Like,
Well, and how
fuck
bad it
you,
is. That's
man.
a very coveted job.
Nobody wants to take it on.
Nobody wants it. No.
They do not want anything to do with the
I think
Trump.
it's and these people are politicians. Majority of them. The reason why we talk about AOC or Ro Khanna or Elizabeth Warren or whatever is because they're the only ones who are actually good. I don't Democrat, conservative, regardless, they're all kind of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And they only want to do it to further themselves. But this situation, they're like, nah, because it's a huge thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it would be like if Cody, if you were working at a manufacturing plant or something, and they were like, hey, we're gonna raise you to vice president. And then from that point forward, I have vice president ceiling. So I'm not taking a job at lower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing chief of staff really is it's this huge promotion. And no one fucking wants it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's because they know that it's going to be a red mark underneath the Trump administration, especially, and as it moves forward, worse and worse as it's going.
You're not wrong. I can't wait.
I'm sure, Fatty, he'll do it, I'm sure.
Chris Christie?
Yeah, Chris Christie.
Fatty.
And the other thing I want to talk about, talking about AOC, is I don't know if anyone does know, but today is December 10th, which is when the Sunrise Movement is pushing for demonstrations and for tweets and just everything we can do to let the government know that we are interested, that we want a Green New Deal, we want to do better by climate. And
It's not fake news.
so this was reported. The American delegation came to promote coal, and the kids laughed in their face. That was the bizarre, and scene that unfolded Monday at the UN COP24 climate talks at spaceship-shaped conference center in Polish coal country. The nations of the world are meeting here to hash out a rule book to help ensure the viability of humanity, preventing runaway global warming from causing even greater calamity in the form of superstorms, searing droughts, and deadly heat waves. That work, which follows up on the 2015 Paris Agreement, is seen as more critical now than ever. A damning report from the United Nations this fall said that only about a decade is left to avoid the worst climate change that in this Earth's history. And one of the pictures that you were showing us with that deep cave just out of nowhere, that was actually one of the things that they were talking about. They were talking about these deep fossil fuel pollutions. They're trying to set it back decades, but with only a decade left to work, it's going to be incredibly difficult as is. Yet the United States held a discussion on Monday that was meant, among other things, to showcase ways to use fossil fuels as a cleanly, efficient, and as this is a direct quote from our president, beautiful source of energy. We've got the cleanest coal. I'm not kidding. That's what Trump
What the hell
said.
is
We
wrong with
only use
him?
the cleanest coal.
But how clean can coal fucking be? My God.
So yeah, that's what we're up against. The UN and all of Europe is having these deep climate talks. We've got progressives. We've got more than half of the country, up to 70% of the country, want to do something better for climate change. And our government is holding discussions and promoting the cleanest coal possible and how great fossil fuels are.
Jesus Christ.
Fossil fuels are replenable, right? I mean, we can get more of those.
Yes, they
It's
are.
not a problem.
Yes,
So
yes.
that dinosaur sex going on.
No, it's the wind and the sun. That's what's finite, not fossil fuels. But and in reality, though, it's not true, but it is kind of true. You know, we have more oil. Like if we burned all of our oil, we would heat the Earth up by 12 degrees and all die.
Wow.
That's how much oil we have available. We have enough oil to last us for a couple hundred years. Like, you know, basing on how everything's going. But yeah, our reserves are incredibly deep. We don't need to worry about anything. But
we
if you've
have
noticed
an
too,
anonymous person asking before we finish the show today, can you please explain what Galians are?
oh, that was just a humor piece that I shared on Washington Post.
Aliens?
Galians?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Mike Pence was calling for Space Force to not be taken down
By the gay aliens.
But yeah, no, that's what we're up against, and hopefully we have at least like Tulsi Gabbard, Ro Khanna, Tlaib. I can't say her last name.
Cortez?
Yeah, I can't say it without saying the entire her entire name. But yeah, I don't know why it's weird.
You are so weird.
Sanders, Warren, all those people can hopefully make some kind of dent. Because if not, every scientist outside of a few paid shills are saying our environment is at a major, major tipping scale. And it's already gotten bad. I mean, some of the stuff that I remember in early 2000s we had talked about, not you and I, obviously, but as a country we talked about, global warming, how this was a thing that is, it's going to be important to our future to watch. And they said, look, by 2012, we're going to see, the oceans rise. We're going to see really, really bad storms. We're going to see a lot of refugees because of this. And we've already started seeing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not nearly, in some regard, it's not as bad as it seems, but then in other ways, it's way worse. Our lack of water, for one, is massive. But today of all days, I would definitely suggest looking into climate change, doing what you can to promote a Green New Deal, trying to get our government to vote correctly on it. Like, I think you
It's
know,
kind of
to tie
important.
just a little bit, but especially if you like water and air, you know, you don't want to get salmonella every time you eat lettuce. Some of that stuff's kind of important. And I think
think
it
so.
ties into the fact, too, as I said, we have dirty politicians.
Completely
But
fucked up politicians.
If they know they're not going to win a vote, then they're not going to go against their people. So if you bug your politicians, if you make this a movement, they're going to change the way they feel about fossil fuels. They're going to change the way that they feel about water testing and just simple things to help humanity. And again, I think that kind of correlates to the whole having an issue finding a chief of staff now. They're always going to go with what's popular.
Yeah.
And if you're not popular, then yeah, they're going to change their vote if they can. I don't know. Anyway, I think that does it for us.
Yep.
I like right at 6:30, and
I think you're right.
I'm
Yep.
lazy. Cody has some live reads for you.
I was
Woo-hoo.
gonna let Tanya do it.
Oh, okay. I
Oh.
guess Tanya.
Okay. So as always,
It's a
we
book
have.
that keeps getting passed down.
It does.
Well, she
Yes,
doesn't
that-
do anything around here. She
I
can read
don't.
'em.
I really don't do anything. I don't know why you guys keep me around.
I don't. I've said we need to get rid of you.
I agree. So as always, we'd like to thank Revolution Auto Sales. They have great deals on amazing rides. Call Mark. I thought his name was Mike, but you know what? You
What do
can
we know?
call him at 316-217-3066. Set up a test drive. Go hang out. Please don't masturbate while I talk. It disturbs me.
Can you text him?
I bet you could text him.
I wouldn't. That's. I don't know.
Okay, but here's the
Can
deal.
you text him hey with 3 Y's?
Hey.
But what would happen if I texted Cody one day and I said, "What's up, Corey?" How would you take that?
I'd be pissed.
Like, be like, "What's up, Mark? Can you?" And I can kind of figure out what his response would be. Like, "It's fucking Mike."
Yeah, it'd be.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but Revolution Auto Sales, we have bought a cruiser from them guys before. They're really good guys. Platinum PDR, they're raising the bar in paintless dent removal. Living in Kansas, you're going to get some dents,
Dense.
whether it be hail, frog, or you hitting a small child. These are the people to go to. You can call Scott at 316-217-3088.
Little known fact: if you don't want to deal with dents anymore in Kansas, then let climate change happen because Kansas is becoming a desert.
Yeah.
And that is true. Also, play more lanes for your bowling fun needs. They do Cosmic Bowling Challenge every Saturday from 8 to 10 with weekly cash prizes. Groups of 5 or more that mention 106.6 The Blast will get 106 off their entry fee. That is $1.06.
99 cents plus tax.
So basically, you're covered for tax. Take you and 4 of your friends and go have some excitement. Little known fact, did you know Big Will of the Redneck Model Mafia is usually there spinning the records and doing his thing?
See, I heard DJ Cody was going to take over
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a new mixer and everything, and I'm
Yeah.
about to take this town.
He's got an astronaut helmet.
Yeah, dude.
And he's
it's-
just gonna like rock out
it's
and dance
fucking-
in a big hamster
See, from
uniform.
what
Yeah.
I've understood is it's more like, yo, this is DJ Will, and I'm here spinning them. What would you do, though? Show me DJ
See,
Cody.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had time to
I think
prepare a
DJ
stick.
Cody would be like, more like, this is DJ Cody.
That'd be
And then,
sweet.
you know, and then like the dance. Yeah.
Okay.
Then Cody would just like dance around with a giant strap on hanging on.
Oh,
his
absolutely.
Uniform.
You're like, this is not that kind of bowling alley. It is, though. It is.
It is.
We'd also like to talk about Distant Lands Coffee for your liquid needs. I hear it's good. Cody, do you like the coffee?
I do.
I'm not a coffee. Do they have
I like
tea?
my liquid needs being satisfied.
Do they make tea? I'm not a coffee drinker.
I don't know. They're Disneyland's coffee, not Disneyland's tea.
Like what?
Coffee and
Please
accessories.
tell, what other kind of flavors do they have? Sell me on Distant Lands Coffee.
I'm not
like,
the one.
I've seen. Is there like medium roast, gold
There is
roast,
actually.
black roast?
There's a dark
God, I
roast.
love me some
dark
dark meat.
roast, not black
Black
roast.
roast. I don't think anyone
Jesus.
wants their coffee
Folgers
like black
has.
roasted.
It's called Black Silk, and it
Yeah,
looks
but-
like hell in a cup.
That was my nickname in high school.
That's what comes out of Cody every morning before he goes to work.
Yeah, I should
Okay,
get
well,
it checked out.
Yeah.
We also have performance decals for your decal needs. You want to get you a sexy Spider-Man hugging the back end of your mom-mobile? You can do that.
What in God's name are you talking about?
Cody
That's
does have.
incredibly random.
Cody has little baby shoes on the back of his car that says "Daddy's number one."
It's like a notch in his belt. Is all it really is.
Jay says, "I love mom" on his.
Some people do like the mark in the headboard. Cody just gets the little shoes on the back
That
of his.
explains so much.
Please don't
Cody
like
also
jinx me
had
with that.
what was it? White power on his Jeep before.
White lightning, but yeah.
Big black letters, white power, and then he said he was like a pride boy on the other side. It was
Yeah,
pretty
proud
cool.
boy, proud boy. And
It was-
then
yeah.
shoes will not replace us on the
Yeah,
tailgate.
and then I have a fist on the hood.
God, I support that.
And I'm not talking. I'm not talking about a decal.
He used to, Cody did at one point have this amazing
Ever seen
Confederate
Idiocracy?
flag.
What?
I said, you ever seen Idiocracy?
Yeah.
That was
But
Cody's vehicle.
didn't you replace your Confederate flag?
Yeah, I
It
replaced
says
it for.
incels now.
No, I replaced it with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
God, that's hot.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's sad
Cringy.
because it's true.
Oh, I know.
Oh, we also have Cody. Can you please bring up Adam and Eve?
Why you have it on your phone? I saw it before you locked your phone. You lazy piece of shit.
So that's right, Adam and Eve for all your.
There you go.
Fun.
Words.
I-
Words.
I don't like words.
I don't like the words; they're big
Nope,
and
nope,
loud.
nope,
Before
nope,
you
nope.
start, Revolution Radio on YouTube. Search Revolution Radio channel and find us. Subscribe, like, share it with your friends. Be like, hey, I've got progressive friends who like to say really bad words and aren't offended. They like the free
Hey.
speech.
Free speech bad.
Let's share it.
Free
with them.
speech bad.
I know
Words
it's
good.
kind of a niche market to find
It is.
progressives who also like free speech, but that's who we are.
Are you sure?
So like us, share us. Revolution Radio on Facebook. Jay Dillon on Facebook as well. If you want to get a hold of us, comment, whatever. You know, let us know how we're doing. Complain. JAYDYLAN on Facebook or Revolution Radio on Facebook as well.
I support that.
You can check me out on Facebook as Cody Vogus. I'd love to get some friend requests since apparently everybody else has gotten some
Can
but me.
somebody just?
It would be really
friend
cool,
request
man.
Cody?
Like
Make
I'll
me
even spell
feel
my
good.
name, all right? Get a pen and paper.
Cody sucks dick for
CODYVOGES.
friends.
V as in Victor. Send me, please. I just
need
want
some more
friends.
You know, he's got like way more than either one of us, but he's still like.
I bet I
Right?
don't.
I
No,
bet
I
you
bet you
do.
do.
Yeah,
I
Because we
doubt
don't
it.
like
I don't think I have that many.
Dude, I've been very
I see the same, like,
unaggressive.
Dude, I see like the same 6 people every day. Literally.
Just 7 people that you have as friends.
But they also mass share. Like they share a lot of shit, so everyone else kind of gets buried.
That's why he doesn't have friends. They're all friending the people that share it.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
They're like, who is this person? I don't know. So, Adam and Eve, you can get 10 free gifts. First, you can get a sexy